I'm talking about Peter Obi anyway. So, I do not owe him that he has not earned our respect such to conceal his identity. And since he's again running, we owe it to the people to say this is the character of the man, one of those presenting themselves to be voted for as leader.
Good day, Legend Joe. So, how are you doing today?
Alhamdulillah.
Okay. So, we just have a few questions for you today. The opposition party feels like this coming election will go most likely in their favor. They are very certain, they are bragging about it. And they say that, according to them in their words, they say the election is between APC and the people of Nigeria. What do you have to say about that? Think about it.
Yeah, I think it's the new slogan. This election is between Nigerians and Tinubu. Sometimes they put it as this election is between Nigerians and the ruling party. So this election is between APC and Nigerians. I have come to understand that every election comes with its own seasons of sloganeering and, if you like, gaslighting. 2023, for example, the election was not between APC and Nigerians. It was between APC and the church. We all remember, church, take back your country. When one of the candidates sojourned, or should I say, toured, yeah, that's what I'm looking for, all the crusades. He was at Shiloh, he was at Dunamis, he was at Experience, right? In fact, he attended Kerubim and Seraphim Harvest. He was short of attending Olumba. Or what was this man on Lagos Ibadan called? Guru Maharaji. He was short of attending. He attended all the church crusades and congresses, yes. Almost all, if not all. Every major religious outing, church gathering, he was there. Then he went and said, church, take back our country. And we are not too young. 3 years ago, it's not too distant time away for us to forget the call between him and the bishop, the patriarch of faith, bishop. I'm talking about Peter Obi anyway. So, I do not owe him that he has not earned our respect such to conceal his identity. And since he's again running, we owe it to the people to say this is the character of the man, one of those presenting themselves to be voted for as leader. So, last election was church, take back the country. I think he forgot this part of the slogan. So, saying that didn't work, church didn't take back their country. Because this country, our constitution defines this country as a secular nation. This is one of the countries in the world that does not have a national religion. All right? In fact, when you go to our demography, population, it's one of the few countries where we are almost evenly divided between the Christians and the Muslims, almost 50-50 in terms of population. It's also one of the few countries where, in fact, by geographical map, a part is almost one religion and the other part is almost one religion. For example, the southeast are majority Christians, right? Only the southwest happen to have both religions almost evenly distributed, all right? So a country such as this, one of the candidates came out to say, church, take back our country. And he was reminding, or he was telling, he was pleading, he was instructing the bishop to speak to his people in Kwara and inform them that this is a religious war. In Sena climb, which we all like to quote and reference, elections are seen as a festival of democratic expression, where people, in fact, in a family, each member of the family can have different candidates, where you have multiple candidates. And it's not someone there's no quarrel. I may have a Marxist philosophy, and I will go with one of the candidates who aligns with that my school of thought. It's not supposed to be quarrelsome. It's service. All right? Each candidate is presenting themselves to serve. So it is in the rights of each citizen to say, okay, I prefer the objectives or the manifesto align more strongly to the dreams and goals of this individual than you. It's not war. Any candidate then presents an election as war already has expressed his character, one that should be not just avoided, that should be ignored, and if possible, abolished from the system. So now, seeing that the church Take Back Your Country failed, it's adopting a new strategy, a new slogan. Is this election is between APC and Nigerians. Every election, you have to get your PVC. And one of the requirements is your NIN. And NIN is by default given to Nigerians, right? So every election since 1959, 1960, the First Republic, has always been between Nigerians and the ruling party. In fact, the ruling party election is a referendum to say, look, we are satisfied with your first term. Even if you're serving a second term, we are satisfied with the progress of your party. We then trust another candidate from that party to continue. Election is always a referendum. But saying that this candidate, Peter Obi, his last few interviews had been disastrous, underwhelming, totally epidemic, so to speak. Saying that he has not been able to sell his plans in a coherent, intelligent manner, he is now resorting to cheap blackmail, saying, look, this is between Nigerians and APC. So that is to say, even if I do not have a structure, even if my party hasn't built a system that can guarantee me victory, let me just gaslight and blackmail the rest of the country and say, it is your election. No, sir. No, sir. As far as this government is concerned, there are 13 million registered APC members. Correct? They are Nigerians. They are not from Argentina. Correct? Today, we have over 24,000 pensioners who recently received long overdue pension arrears. Many of them witnessed their colleagues or their contemporaries die waiting for their pensions to be paid. Now, along with their households whose burdens have now been lifted, they are not from Mali. They are also where? They are also Nigerians. There are over 45 student innovators. You recall, those that received who benefited from the federal government 50 million naira student venture capital grants. 45 of them. Those students have parents. They have mentors. They have associates. They have those who believe in them and want to key into their dream. All of them are benefiting from this government. They are not from Bangladesh. Correct? Over 1.6 million Nigerian students have accessed NEL Fund, without which many of them would have been dropouts today, without which many would have struggled with their welfare while in school. All those students, including those connected to them, their parents inclusive, are aware they are not from which other country does Peter brag with? China. They are Nigerians. Are you following me? Today, ASU strike has been a thing of the past. Universities no longer go on strike. I have since said between 1999 to 2023, there was a cumulative almost 5 years of university strikes. 4 years became 6 years. And if you're unfortunate that you are studying medicine at the time, you can expect that you might be there forever. Many of our students at the time had to relocate. That is why you have many of them now carrying certificates from Benin, from Ghana, from Togo, because they had to leave the Nigerian university system out of frustration. They were frustrated out of the system. Correct? All those students in their millions are not from Indonesia. They are from where? Nigeria. The infrastructure, Lagos, Calabar Coastal Highway, those in the north and across the nooks and crannies. In fact, Abuja alone. You see the wonders Wike is doing. Are we saying it? Those that are domiciled here, either as indigents or residents or visitors, have so seen that many of their localities, the Zuba axis, the Maraba axis, that before now had no accessible roads, are now enjoying good and motorable roads, are also not from, which other country does he mention again? Ghana, Egypt. They are also Nigerians. So if you are saying the election is between Nigerians and APC, yes, we agree. If he is just realizing that, I will not blame him. We are not all going to be intelligent. Some will come late to the class. If he has now arrived at that classroom, he is welcome. But elections has always been between the citizens of that country and the ruling party. And the ruling party has, even in the midst of the myriads of challenges, many of it being inherited, we have surmounted quite substantial. In fact, today, all of us, including the higher class, middle class, and the lower class, that have bought stocks in our stock market today are smiling to the bank. Those that are invested in stocks are hitting good, including the major investors and the industrialists. Correct? All those Elumelus, the Dangotes, the Boas of this world, that have witnessed their highest gains ever in their history as businessmen, are also Nigerians. All right? And that is why when you see it within the political space, and the politicians are equally Nigerians anyway, within the political space today, almost every political leader of substance are united in saying this man must return. The governors that are not in APC today are in principle supporting Asiwaju's return. Soludo, for example, is in Abuja, and clearly is a Baptist, correct? Alex Oti of Abia, who was in the same party with Peter Obi just some months ago, is in principle with the ruling party, correct? And who else is not in APC again? And the rest of them are largely in the APC. And even Wike, who is a chieftain of the PDP, is where? He has his alliance with the APC. Why is that? Because it is clear. And I didn't mention that all those civil servants, before now, state governments couldn't pay salaries of their workers. Some of them that paid them half salary. Some that salaries were delayed. All of them now receiving their salaries timely. Some of them receiving bonuses. There are many are now receiving 13th month salary. Correct? All those civil servants across the 36 states and the federal capital today, along with their dependents and those that feed from that income, are also Nigerians. So it is Peter that should watch himself and say, are Nigerians with him or are they against them? And the data before was clearly shown, judging even from his own utterances, saying people no longer greet him in parties. He thought it was the ruling party. No, it was the people now being fed up of your theatrics, of your antics. Parties, you'll be invited to parties and you deliberately arrive late, even where bigger dignitaries were already seated. Arriving late to events that you were duly invited for and the time given to you, it's even a sign of you not being a good leader, because punctuality is a trait of progressive leaders. So people are now fed up with that antics. You have done it for 4 years and it's no longer working. So by his own utterances, he said people no longer according the respect as it was 4 years ago. So Nigerians are fed up. So the Nigerians he is trying to gaslight are with the ruling party, obviously so. Obviously so, even in the midst of the myriad of challenges. Because they know, even with the challenges as they exist, it could have been worse if given to a leader that has succeeded in building nothing in his decades of political activity. You get the point? Mm-hmm. Thank you.